Hey everybody, it's your pal Drew Dracy, and I'm back with a new camera. I have to return the second one that I bought because it didn't last me a week. So, on to random comics for my spinner rack. There's quite a few from my spinner rack. There's quite a few that are going to find a home in my spinner rack, newly purchased ones such as this. The Shadow. I just had to get this. I spent maybe $4 on it. It's in really nice shape. It's from 1964. It's from Archie, who, Archie Andrews, the comic Archie and all these other books with Betty and Veronica and such, they sold like gangbusters for decades. I mean, just, it was a big deal. And then they would put their toe in the water and do superheroes. They did a successful character called the Shield, which was a patriotic character who predated Captain America by a couple of months, and Cap had to change his shield from the badge shape to a circular shape because it was kind of a knockoff on the front chest symbol of what's that guy's name? I'm blanking out. The Shield. Yeah, a real hard name to remember, Drew. So, but it came and went, and then in the '60s they kind of played around with it, but they didn't always get the best creators because Marvel, DC were gobbling them up, and then you had Charlton and you had Gold Key and Dell who were doing really superior work. Well, I don't know about Charlton 100%, but Archie series. So in around 1962, the Fly came out by I think Simon and Kirby. I'm not sure, or C.C. Beck. There was a handful of creators involved with the Fly, and there's this rumor that the Fly led to Spider-Man. And maybe it did. The first issue of the Fly, it was not a big deal. The second issue, the book just kind of, it lasted 30 issues somehow, even though it was pretty mediocre. However, there's this really, I think it's an absurd legend that Jack Kirby did 7 pages of Spider-Man that got lost forever, and Steve Ditko took over. No, there's been no evidence of it. I've been reading comics since I was a little kid. I've been involved with fan press almost as much, and that's just legend. It's not real. He did the cover because Ditko's original cover wasn't as dramatic enough, or wasn't as dramatic. Maybe I'm being redundant. I like how whoever owned this gave this guy like a little bit of hair on the side. I don't know the credits, and I don't really care. But however, this prints pretty well for 1964. Jeez, it is the Shadow. It is Lamont Cranston, and his thing is instead of the guns, of course, at the time it was a problem. Without the brim hat and the scarf and the the menacing look, this guy is good at hiding in the shadows. That's all he is. So be careful, sir. Come, Shreddy, if I was cautious, I wouldn't be Lamont Cranston, but only some foolish millionaire playboy, only out for kicks. That just cracks me up. And the storytelling is deadly dull. I actually had to stop and try and I reread this. I went through, it took me like 3 reads to get through the whole thing because it's just, the staging is deadly dull. Most of the action takes place in the center of the panels. And there's so many more ways you could do it. And this is shorthand, I get it. Doing, armament is hard. Just like you don't have to draw the whole submarine, you just draw the top. So he comes out of the bushes. Excuse me a second. It's like, now let them find me among the shadows. And there's some writing there. See, they saw the Shadow, quotation marks, parachuting into enemy territory. Now let them find me among the shadows. But he pops out, and right away he shoots a gun out of the guy's hand. That was the thing. You couldn't shoot anybody with the comics code. Then immediately they see my eyes, and they're stunned. they feel the mass impact of my power of mass hypnosis. So he has them believe they're locked up in a cage. So pretty heady stuff, huh? Really, really amazing, huh? The art is good. It's just there's not any sense of excitement in any of the panels. Okay. She's like a double agent. She traps our hero Lamont Cranston. See what I mean? It's like, excuse me a second. I had to clear my throat. I didn't want you to share in the experience. But it's almost like, it's kind of like the guy's wanting to tell a story like Wally Wood, but failing miserably. Because Wally Wood could draw small mid-section panels, but he had a style like none other, that he could pull it off. And Wally Wood was more imaginative also, so this is just weird. Somebody took everything power-wise from the Shadow, and as far as I know, the actual Shadow, I don't think he... Oh, look at this. He hangs onto a car. While that guy is there, he can't see this guy hanging out in the back. But it's quaint. When I got towards the end, I was encouraged because it was going to end. So, the Shadow. And you bring it back. Margot Lane's Honeymoon. Schmeck. And she's in love with the Shadow, or in love with Lamont. And he doesn't reciprocate. They're dating, they're in love, and it turned out to be a dream. So, yippee! I know. It's so bad it's good. Metal Men. I just picked all these up at Phantom of the Attic in Monroeville, Pennsylvania. Really affordable, anywhere from like $2 to $5 or $6. And I love the relaunch of the Metal Men. I might get the earlier issues, but in the mid-70s, I was into the revival of the Teen Titans. I was into teen books, and the Metal Men was really cool. The first couple issues were by Walt Simonson, which I just adore. And he did this cover too, I believe. And let me see, is his name in here? I don't know, it doesn't matter. But Joe Staton takes over and does a great job. I mean, he's a story within a story by Robert Kanigher. Oh, that's right. Here's a reprint in the middle. How rare is it that DC sticks a reprint in? That was Marvel's thing. But, yeah, Staton does a really good job. But then, you could tell by the lettering, and you could tell by the thin monolines that it's a Silver Age story reprinted. It's pretty cool though. It's fun. A lot of fun. There we go. And so our story ends. Superman busted some kids. So, by order of Colonel Craven, Director of Project Automaton, the Metal Men are now in custody of the U.S. Army. So, really cool stuff. But the reprint in the middle was a bit of a disappointment. It was good as a, I guess, as a supplement to the main story. Wolverine, Marvel Comics Presents. It was a bi-weekly book that had no ads in it and 4 features, 8 pages each. So, I don't know how to do that cover. Let's see. Where'd it go? I thought I had it right here. Oh, like it again. So, you got Chris Claremont and John Buscema. Big problem. Printing is horrible. Tosh Jansen's inking it. I love his inks. So much is dropping off, though. And you get to the Man Thing, and the story is laid out. It's written by Steve Gerber. It's laid out by Brad Joyce. and it's finished by Tom Sutton. And you know me, if you've watched any of these episodes, you know I'm a major Tom Sutton fan. So like stuff like that's just dropping off. And then we get to Tony Salmons. I'll have to ask him. Salmons. It's spelled the same way as the fish. Okay, Cloak and Dagger, and I love his stuff too. So it's beautiful artwork, and just not. It's just needs better paper, and you will not hear me say that very often. You have Elegia. I'm sorry if I said it wrong. Elegia. Please forgive me. It is written by Scott Lobdell, Larry Alexander with Jim Sinclair. So I'm not too knowledgeable about those guys, but I love the character. So it like I said, this whole thing's poorly printed. I would sort of like to see Marvel Comics Presents all be reprinted with all the features reprinted, but it sounds too. I don't know the audience for that. So I'll show you something cool. Not cool, but this book is actually shorter than the average comic book. It's called Armitage. It says Fleetway quality, so I thought, oh, okay, it's a British comic. Nice cover. And I'm like, wait a minute, they're ripping off Judge Dredd. Well, it turns out that it's part of the Judge Dredd universe. And this came out, let's see, what year did this come out? Yeah, that's what's weird. They don't say when it came out. That's that was kind of confusing. And also, it's not explained who are these judges. But he's basically a hard-boiled detective during 2000 AD, what do you call it? Mega City, just an ugly, ugly town called Mega City. Beautiful art. Ooh-wee. That actually, wait a minute, painted art. I just can't get on how great it is. And he's a real asshole, and he gets someone assigned to him as a deputy. And he's just a total asshole to her. I love that artwork. Who did it? I don't even remember who did it. Does anybody know who did this art? Because it's really, really great. Oh, wait a minute. Little Jason Statham kind of look with a little hair on top. Although this is years and years before just Statham took off. He's like, hey, I work with cadavers. So, the guy's just such an a-hole. And there you have different sorts of judges. You have British judges. The double lighting on the faces really suggests like Simon Bisley to me, but I could be wrong. Because some of the hatch marks put me in mind of Mike McMahon. It's like this guy. Or Glenn Fabry. It's really, really cool. And eventually the guy lightens up on his deputy, because she's next. Exploding Meat. Oh, this is Downtime. Judge Hershey. So she's working out, kicking everybody's ass. That resin statue, $50. I don't know when this came out, but that's a lot of money, a few decades ago. Now we get to the Avengers. And that's always been a pretty cool logo. I was kind of on and off with the Avengers because what happened was they basically became a bunch of, usually you need somebody to, like a foil to bounce things off of to make it interesting. And the problem is, in my opinion, this book became all plot and very little personality. Because you have these straight characters. You have, he's just, a straight man, instead of like Bud Abbott, Luke Costello. It's, Submariner, Black Knight, Hercules, Wasp, Captain Marvel, Captain America. And even when the She-Hulk rejoined them, it was just, there was no, the adventures were very imaginative, but it just wasn't fun. You know, great artwork, but it just kind of was its own thing. But I know people love that era, so I'm not going to bag on it. And it's Lee Buscema art, and he's doing some really great stuff. And any like perfunctory, he doesn't like doing superheroes. He was kind of asked to do this. Any perfunctory, quote unquote, John Buscema is better than 98% of all the hotshot artists. So there you have Rita something or other, who is the new Yellow Jacket, and I love it. Screaming Mimi, who became somebody in the Thunderbolts comics. I can't remember what her name was. But you got my pal Paladin. You got the Wasp. You got Black Knight. Grey Gargoyle, another great character I love. See, now this is stuff I like here. That's that posture on her where she's kind of like, what do you mean the submariner's gone off to Atlantis? And Hercules is just being very dismissive of it. And 'twas nothing more than a submariner's thinking. Facing a tomb alone is a point of honor. But then I wouldn't expect a woman to understand such things. What? And she gives him a little shit. A lot of shit, actually. Woman, I've endured your pronouncements and commands, but the son of Zeus shall not be brood your insults. So he storms out like an a-hole. You know, my problem with Jan for the longest time was she had that same haircut. I mean, there was a brief time, I think, in the Al Milgrom era where she had her hair kind of swirled up, which was different. But it's like I never known anybody who had that same haircut all that time. Boy, that's beautiful art. A friend of mine sent me photocopies, full-size photocopies from the original art on some of these books. And, well, hey. And there's implications that Paladin and the Wasp are a bit of a couple. Here comes a build-up to the Masters of Evil, around a couple issues after this, sitting. Mr. Hyde, like, breaks a leg or an arm from Jarvis. Really evil stuff. So they go to this prison, meet the evil Yellow Jacket, who fought the Wasp back in a solo Avengers issue, which was pretty cool. It was drawn by a young Amanda Connor. It was really great. Neat stuff, huh? There's Captain America out on the road again, taking care of what he has to do. So, I think the Yellow Jacket costume is a lot more flattering on a woman than on a man. That's just my opinion. So you got Black Knight on one of those little Wundagore artificial steeds, and his blade can cut through anything, including a stone, tree. I can't be missing anything. Touches the ebon blade. So what have you done to me? He changed it back to knock him out. This is a good. The follow-up issue is really good too. The follow-up issue reminded me of one of my favorite Avengers stories, where Hawkeye saves the Avengers from a tumor. Really good stuff. But I kind of quit after the Masters of Evil story because it just got. It was all plot, and Roger Stern, who was known for doing really great characterizations, kind of gave up on it. He just kind of had these big stories that they were almost ancillary characters in. Now, in this era here, in these few issues, Hercules is tired of being bossed around. He gets really, really drunk, really, really messed up, and then he gets the shit knocked out of him by the Masters of Evil, like the powerful ones, like the Wrecking Crew and Goliath and many, many more. So this is like a little precursor, a little break. I don't know if they ever really did anything with her later on. That's a weird thing. I remember in Brian Michael Bendis's issues, they had they had Henry Pym in the outfit, and it was so weird because I don't know what his trip was. It wasn't like something that had been established before. I mean, no matter, even though Henry Pym's personal life was really screwed ever since the infamous issue 213. That's it. I'm just babbling at this point. Okay, let me know what you think. We got us some classic Avengers. We have some really cool, I've never seen this before, Armitage. What year is this? Nope. It's just a mystery. And this was a huge letdown. But mostly because of printing. Metal Man. Oh, they're so fun. And don't forget the Shadow. They can't even get it right. He has a costume on the cover, and he wears no costume inside. He wears instead, let's see, real quick, hang with me. Not even a domino mask. Oh, he wears a bit of a cape. Crazy. So, that's it, everybody. And have a great day. Bye.